So Chris, let's start with the headline stat of 174 advisors under the age of 25 in the UK right now. What's going on?
I remember when that stat got shown to me and we was looking at making a post about it. I was like, go back and fact check that. That doesn't seem right. I don't think there's enough stuff about it that draws people in. I don't think there's enough cool people that look like they could be financial planners or financial advisors.
So I think the Retail Distribution Review absolutely smashed financial planning. It destroyed the roots into becoming a financial advisor.
And I think it comes back to that influency culture that we were just talking about, which is now, quick. You don't have to work at it. You could just become a drop shipper and look at this person, they've done a 90 grand deal, and look at this person.
Nobody in school knew about the role of a financial advisor or a financial planner, but they certainly would understand the career, say, of an accountant.
If you want to be a financial planner and you're with a business, you can build up a 7-figure salary in some cases, 7-figure earnings on a yearly basis.
So Chris, let's start with the headline stat of 174 advisors under the age of 25 in the UK right now. What's going on?
It's a mad stat, isn't it, that? I mean, I remember when that stat got shown to me and we was looking at making a post about it. I was like, go back and fact check that. That doesn't seem right. And the honest answer is I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, that shows to me that people are just not interested in becoming a financial advisor at a young age. So the question then becomes why? Why aren't people interested in becoming a financial advisor early on?
So what do you reckon?
Being honest, I don't think people think, sexy profession, I want to be a financial planner. I don't think there's enough stuff about it that draws people in. I don't think there's enough cool people that look like they could be financial planners or financial advisors. I just don't see it as something that's widely publicised to younger people that this is a really attractive career path, and it's definitely something that you should be looking at. And actually, it would tie in quite well, because if you think back to when there were a lot of younger financial planners, it was when the banks were out there pumping wealth management and wealth planning, and actually a lot of them are getting back into it now. So it'd be interesting to see if that raises the number, because they put on those in, people can say what they want to say about the banks and other institutions, but they put a lot of money into training financial planners. They put a lot of money into courses and education. They've obviously got a lot of resource around it. So I think that's quite an interesting side of it. But I do think a lot of it is around people are like, well, I wouldn't even know where to begin to become a financial planner.
Yeah. No, 100% I agree on that one. So I think the Retail Distribution Review absolutely smashed financial planning. It destroyed the roots into becoming a financial advisor, whether that was bank assurance. You could start as a personal banker, and there was a clear-cut career framework to then eventually becoming a financial advisor in Santander or in HSBC. And there was that clear-cut route.
Yeah.
And then, RDR came along and it changed the way that you charge for advice, and that had a direct impact on the amount of financial advisors that were out there and the way businesses delivered advice to clients, which meant they'd get rid of loads of people, which then killed the training and development that was so prevalent for young people to eventually end up in a financial advisor role. I also think as well, when we think back, you go to university, I didn't go to university, right? But nobody in school knew about the role of a financial advisor or a financial planner, but they certainly would understand the career, say, of an accountant.
Investment banker.
Or an investment banker or a solicitor. So again, it just goes back to an education piece. Why aren't people being educated to the actual benefits of what a financial planner does? Because the more you actually explain that to a younger person about, look, it's not just about money, it's about someone's whole lifestyle, their future plans, it ties in with their health, their well-being, their family, their security. This is what an actual financial plan can do to somebody and how it can positively impact their life. It's not just, here's an investment, take that investment. There's way more to it. And I think, again, it's an education piece. People aren't talking about what it's like to be a financial planner and why you should be a financial planner. Because if a young person's looking at Instagram, they're looking at an influencer, and that influencer telling you how to be a property mogul. You know, there's plenty of other ways that they can make money quickly, which is drawing them in.
But that's all bullshit as well.
Yeah.
So let's call it for what it is.
Yep.
I mean, it's very difficult for you to become successful in property in the space of 12 to 36 months. And I'll probably have a lot of property agents, in Dubai, you know, I've been really successful, and you may well have, and I wish you the best of luck with that. But in the UK, it's very hard to build up, to become a good estate agent. Actually, the amount of property agents that come out to Dubai and make it is a fraction of those that actually come out. Whereas if you want to be a financial planner and you're with a business, you can build up a 7-figure salary in some cases, 7-figure earnings on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
But it won't happen immediately. And I think it comes back to that influency culture that we were just talking about, which is now, quick. You don't have to work at it. You could just become a drop shipper. Look at this person, they've done a 90 grand deal, and look at this person. You start scratching behind the surface and it's all like crap.
Yeah.
Like, actually, it's something that's good generally takes a long period of time and a lot of focus and effort. And I think it's easy to get caught up in quick wins. But really, if you want to earn big money over the longer run, you've got to say financial planning is my career, realizing that I'm not going to make my millions in my 25s when I'm 25 or when I'm 35, probably when I'm 45. Actually, it might well be when I'm 50 plus, but that's actually when it's probably the most useful.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the education piece, doesn't it? And it's bringing it back into like universities. So in university, you could do a qualification that would directly lead you to becoming an accountant or a solicitor. In fact, those professions are massively oversubscribed. And there's a lot of people that go into it, realize when they go into it that actually, shit, this isn't for me at all. This isn't what I want to do. There's a lot of people that are pivoting from accountancy and solicitor and looking for other things. And there's plenty of people that I've spoken to in the past who've made that decision. But if you go back into university, you create a foundational degree, if you like, which a lot of the universities are now starting to implement in the UK. That's an amazing way to get younger people into the profession, because you can articulate at that point as well and educate that this is what the actual journey looks like, and these are the paths and the routes that you're going to go down to get there. And it ties also in, I guess, to the companies that were remaining after RDR and the distinct lack of career framework that was in place to be able to support somebody through their own personal career journey. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges. So how are you supposed to get somebody in who's got no experience where there isn't a well-trodden path that can articulate exactly and show and guide how to get from no experience to, say, running your own financial planning practice? When it's not there, then they're knocking on the door. If they go to a website of a financial planning company, this is another thing, years of recruitment, you look over all the websites, it doesn't articulate what they do as such. There's a lot of jargon and, you know, we do this and we do that. But when you look at their career side of things, there was never anything that explained, like...
It's having a long-term view of these things as well, Sam. Like, I look at it from a business owner's perspective. So what you're saying is great, and it sounds like, like that's how it should be done. Who the fuck is going to invest in a business where you're saying, in 10 years' time, you're going to start receiving a return on this investment? Like, who's going to do it? Actually, what you need is the bigger ones, the ones that operate at scale, to be looking down the line and going, it's that longer term view. As a 5-10 man business, it's a massive investment for you to take on someone that could effectively go, yeah, nice one, cheers mate for that, I'm off. I've been offered a few more quid down the road. Like, that's a big loss and of time, of energy, of capital that you've invested into that person. So I don't blame a lot of these financial planning businesses. They shy away. If you then take the next one, which is private equity. Private equity typically operates on a 5 to 7 year horizon, that their investments, maybe 3 on some funds, but they are not in that investment for 20 years. So why are you going to invest into someone now for 5 years and hope that you get some kind of return? You're not really going to get a decent return out of them during your lifetime of investing in that business. Actually, it'd be the next business that picks it up will. You know, like the reason why St James's Place, I believe, because obviously they were publicly held, they had a much longer view on it. Banks, same. It's like, we're training these guys up for the next run, and we can actually get them doing some jobs now which are still profitable for us as a business. To be in the front of house, greeting the customers, like that stuff was still profitable for them to do. Actually, a 25-year-old becoming a wealth manager, I mean, we do it with the business development managers. We've had to find a role for them to help them progress. I know if they can stay with us over the course of, well, look at Raph. He's been with me for, was it 7, 8 years now? 5 years 6 years at Hoxton. But that's been a 6-year investment into it. And we're only really starting to see the real rewards from that investment now. How many Ravis do you think I had to invest in to get one?
Yeah.
It's a big punt, whereas I can go and deploy that capital somewhere else and get it out. And that's something we've got to change as well. Like it's not only the perception of the industry, but it's also how we view our investment cycles within what we're doing too.
Investment in
people.
In people and careers, yeah.
I need to invest in these people for the next 5+ years to make them who they are and who they need to be. But then they also need to realise you're not going to be earning hundreds of thousands of pounds in those first couple of years because it's just not profitable for me to do it.
Which comes back to the education piece, right? And the career framework. There was never really, whenever I used to push companies and say, like, what is your career development plan? What is your career framework? You're waxing lyrical about the fact that you want people to stay within your business or to attract younger individuals that have got ambition to want to become financial planners. What does your career framework actually look like? How realistic is it? What's the earning potential at each stage? What's the level of knowledge required at each stage? Because I do think when somebody has a blueprint in front of them and they understand exactly where from A to B, how long it's going to take, what they're going to learn on the way, I think a young person will look at that and go, okay, I'll make that commitment.
Yeah.
It does obviously come down to the fact as well that that company has the money to be able to pay that person to invest in them. It is 100% a massive risk. And a lot of the companies that we used to deal with from a recruitment perspective wouldn't take somebody on with that experience because of the fact is, Sam, we'll do it for 2 years and then bugger off somewhere else or they go and set up their own business. And I think within financial planning, there is the opportunity, once you've got the knowledge and you've gained the clients, and you can just go off and set yourself up underneath a network and run your own practice on a self-employed business and build it out. So again, it's about, right, if you're going to create a framework for your business, if it's of a certain size, and you mentioned just JP can do this, if you're going to create a certain framework, it's just like, how do you lock that person in for the long term?
Yeah, I think so. And I think there's different methods that you can do that, which is one, you give them a capital event on the income that they're going to build up. And then number 2, you offer them some kind of long-term incentive plan, share scheme, or whatever it is in the business that you're doing. But even then, we still see people that are entrepreneurial and want to go out and do it on their own. And that's completely cool as well. Like, it shouldn't be stifled. If you've got that within you, you should go and scratch that itch. But I think a lot of people do that for the wrong reasons. And that's probably another whole other podcast in itself as to why people want to become an entrepreneur versus doing it in there. The issue that you have, though, is the expectation that so as a business we're quite a big financial planning business. We're tiny compared to actual other businesses, but we are a reasonable sized business. Realistically, we can only take on 4 to 5 people in that trainee wealth manager thing twice a year, so we're 8 to 10. That's like pushing the boundaries of what we do. You could expect to see 3, 4 of them tops that actually go on to become financial planners and do what you want it to do. And that's because people's lives change at an earlier stage as well. It is tough. So now we only employ people that do want to become financial advisors. Now, we don't have the big issue that UK financial planners have, which is it's very difficult internationally to go and build what we've built. It's very costly to go and do it. The barriers to entry are super high. So you can't go and say, oh yeah, do you know what? I'm going to be an international financial planner and then go and get a license in the UAE, in the UK, in Australia, in Europe, in the US. Like, you're just not going to be able to do that unless you've got very, very deep pockets, which, quite a lot of people haven't got. So we don't see that as much, but it's cost prohibitive, and therefore you need to only work with people that really, really want to do it and get why they're doing it.
As a business owner, then let's just take a look at we'll get into the pathway program that Hoxton Wealth have, why you did that and how it operates, right? But also I want to know, like, how it makes your business profitable to actually invest in younger people coming into your business, because you hit the nail on the head, unless it's going to make you profit, unless it's going to affect the bottom line, why do it? Yeah. And I get it. And you look at SJP and their whole model around the academy, they're not bringing in people who are 21 years old straight from university. They're bringing on people who are career changers. The average age probably of a career changer at SJP who goes through their academy is probably around 35 or something like that.
Because they know they've got to make it work at that point.
Exactly.
You don't have a choice of whether you can or not. Like you have to give, if this isn't working, you probably at that point got some kind of family that's relying upon you. Like there will be issues.
Yeah.
So you're in it.
Yeah. So bringing those young people into the environment and of financial planning, and not expecting to be a financial planner straight, 21 years old, for example. So what have you done and what have you built that has been able to get young people interested in financial planning as a career, but also are managing their expectations that you're not going to be a financial planner from day one, but here's a whole different area that you can work in that will help you earn money and also expose you to the world of financial planning?
I think as I've always said, prospecting is one of the key traits that you need to become a good financial planner. So we build out a trainee wealth manager program, and the first 3 years pretty much around business development. A huge amount of their time is spent on that. And that's because we know that if you're really good at that, then you'd probably be a good financial planner. But if you're not very good at that, you're not going to be, in our business, you're not going to be able to be a great financial planner. And our business is, we do have two types. We go and acquire businesses, which have more servicing consultants. We recruit for them directly, and we probably will start up some kind of training academy on that generally. But most of our financial planners come in and they are expected to bring in new clients with them over time. Like that's what they're employed to do. That's not the same across all businesses. I'm not saying one's right over the other, but that is what you are expected to do. It's organic growth, and that's how we've grown our business to date. So therefore, there's no point in me going to hire a load of people that can't organically grow a business. It's like completely counterproductive. So that's why we really focus on the business development side. And what we do is we use those guys to make the other guys busy, to make the financial planners busy as well, to help them. They need to be doing their own prospecting as well. But we make sure that they are there helping them push it along, getting them understanding of what goes on. That helps them understanding on financial planning activities. Of course it does. But it also means that they become a value to us. Like a really good business development manager is highly likely, as long as they portray good ethics and good understanding and knowledge of what we're trying to do, to become a great financial planner.
And just go back, how many of the BDMs have you taken on since you started Hoxton, for example, have actually gone on to become financial planners within the business? Let's be realistic.
Oh,
here.
God, a lot. I look at my top financial planners in my business at the moment. Pretty much all the partners in the business have been a business development manager, trainee wealth manager, whatever you want to call it, at some point in time. Might not have been with Hoxton, might have been at another business, but they have all been from a business development. I think the stat was out the top 20, 17 had started life off as a business development manager.
Great. So there is actually a clear-cut, proven route that if you take somebody on, if you build into your business a business development team that we would call prospectors, that our sole purpose is to respond to leads, is to be able to do some research, to reach out to clients, to gain referrals, to use LinkedIn, to generate appointments for advisors, etc. That not only is it profitable to your business, so from a business owner perspective, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also becomes an ecosystem where you can train, develop younger people that we so desperately need into the profession to actually become eventually financial planners. 17 out of 20 are.
You can't become an organically grown financial planner without understanding prospecting. You can't do it. It just doesn't happen. Otherwise, you're trying to do two things at once. The hardest thing is getting yourself in front of enough people. If you can't do that, you're never going to be able to bring in clients of your own, which is the organic model that we run. Like, it kind of goes hand in hand. Bring it back to that 85% of our top performing, and by top performing, I mean that of the assets that they control, advisors, started off life as a business development manager. That's the way, in my opinion, to start. But again, you have to be good at training business development managers. And you have to, like that, you can't pay a business development manager £100,000 a year from the start. Unfortunately, you can't. And you are competing with lawyers and investment banking where potentially they can go and earn those figures. I can get you there over the course of a few years, but you've really got to want to be a financial planner, and you've got to demonstrate to me that you want to be a financial planner to be able to stick it out. Like I said, later on in their career, it can be such a long and illustrious career that you will earn more over your career by being a financial planner than actually you probably would in some investment banking roles, or even some roles as a lawyer. Yeah, like so, because you have the income along the way that builds up over time. You have a capital asset that you can sell, plus you've probably got some equity value in the business as well. Like we're talking, that could be 3, 4, 5 million quid. My business is at the moment of people that have started them up, let's say 10, 15 years ago, buy them off them for 5, 6 million quid. I mean, what professions do you walk away with a nice paycheck of 5, 6 million pounds? You could probably name them on one hand, and a financial planner is up there, but it ain't going to happen today. Like, and you can't do that. You can't do that in the first few months. It's unfortunate, but it's just not going to happen.
Well, I think young people understand that. And I think if someone can actually articulate why that isn't, why you're not going to earn the money that you're going to want to earn within, say, the first 5 years, here's the reality of it. Here's the evidence to show it, because we've done it. And I know people who've gone through the process, and this is where they are at the moment. You yourself have done it from start to finish, right? You pivoted out of accounting, being an accountant, into financial planning.
Yeah.
I think if they know that and there's a blueprint and it's articulated and shown to them, they'll get really excited about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key thing. It's an education piece, right? And these are the things that we can do. What else do you think we can do as a profession to be able to get in the eyes and the ears of young people to get them excited about
Number one, stop slagging each other off. A lot of financial planners love slagging others off. I don't see that from accountants. Very rarely see it from investment bankers. Don't really see it from lawyers. Don't go and slag off another business openly, and like financial planners want to rubbish what everyone else is doing all the time. It's not a net zero game. I can tell you that. Actually, if we all work together and we're all bigging up what everyone else is doing and saying how great they are, like fantastic. I mean, the Meaningful Money guy,
Pete
Matthew. I saw a post on his the other day, and he was launching his book, and I purposely went out my way to write on his post and, number one, say he must be extremely proud and like congratulations. But number two, like, it's not congratulations because you've written a book. Pete Matthews is changing people's fucking lives.
Massively, yeah.
For the better. Like, big this guy up, elevate him. Like, and rising, just because Pete Matthews is doing well doesn't mean that you're not. Like, and there's so many people that your client base can be over, and so many people that you can look at. Like, there's that absolute knob on LinkedIn. I can't forget the guy's name again. I probably shouldn't say it. He was just going out rubbishing everyone, on who they are.
I'll say it, Dave Robinson.
Yeah. What I mean, like, what is this guy trying to get at to? That is the reason why people would be turned off of our amazing profession, because of people like that. Think what you want to think. Right. But our profession changes people's lives. Our profession makes people's lives better. Whether they're paying 1% or 1.5% in fees per annum doesn't make you a turncoat. Ripping off people is stealing people's money. Yeah. If people have signed up and they know that they're paying 2% per annum or 2.5% per annum, or they're locked in an SJP product for 5 years or whatever it is, and they've knowingly gone into that in my mind is not an issue. Yeah. It might not be the best solution for them, but actually 9 times out of 10, doing something about something is much better than not. I used to have this argument in the international scene with regular savings plans. People used to say they're crap, they're rubbish, they're this, they're that. And actually, and I'm getting me on the right rant here, aren't we? But actually, like, they're not rubbish.
Yeah.
They're actually a really good means for people saving. But they're often sold in the wrong way, locking people in for 20 years when they shouldn't be. Okay, that obviously should not happen. But that's up to the firms and up to the life insurance businesses to make sure that don't happen. And I think they do a much better job of doing that now. But actually encouraging someone to save on a regular basis and making it structured and easy for them to do, they wouldn't have had that money anyway. I was talking about this with one of my old colleagues, and we were saying, this guy's got a 20-year savings plan. He's moaned that he's been locked in for this 20-year savings plan. This was like 16 years in. He had 4 years left. Said, if I would never have taken this out, if I didn't know what I was in at the start. And I remember speaking to this client at the end of it. This was 3 years down the line. I was like, you've only got 12 months. Obviously, I didn't set it up for him, but you've only got 12 months of this left now. And do you know what he said to me? He said, I've kicked off and moaned and everything else like that. I was actually thinking back the other night, and it's forced me to save this money. I would never have put this 600, 700 quid away a month. Now I've got this massive, great pot of money that I'd never have had. And actually, as it might have been able to do better for me, but I really realised that it just forced me to do it. And actually, by doing it, and it costed me slightly more, meant that I now have it, and I wouldn't have before. So a lot of people go, it needs to be cheaper, it needs to be, but I suppose the point I'm trying to make is actually we need to big each other up. There's many success stories along the way of people doing really well and doing great things for their clients and putting them in better positions than they could be. Everyone can always be in a better position. When I buy a house and I get a new kitchen fitted, the next builder that comes in is always going to tell me what they'd have done differently and how I could have had it better. In fact, I've got a kitchen I'm really happy with. Like, look at whether you're happy with it and where you are, where you are, and go from there. We need to, as a profession and as people, big each other up. We need to stop slagging each other off. It's bad.
No, I agree 100%. It's one of the major...
That was a real rant, wasn't it? I was going for it.
That's fine, obviously. I'm with you because it is...
Passionate about it.
It's passionate and it's an echo chamber, unfortunately, and everyone's just...
Shit.
Yeah, there was a period where everyone was doing that. It's like IFA versus restricted, and then like SJP came under a load of stick, and it was just like everything was directed at SJP.
How many lives do you think SJP's changed?
Yeah. They do a lot of good, mate.
Individuals and that work within the business and clients. How many do you think?
Tons, mate.
Millions,
yeah.
Why is that bad?
And also the work they do on their charitable foundation as well is huge. They've got like a charitable foundation that does so much good. Like I've gotten to, this is not an SJP podcast right here, but I have gotten to know SJP quite well, and I've gotten to know what they do in respect of their training and development, their academy, the types of people that go in there, the success that those people actually have, and the level of quality of those people. And look, no business is perfect.
No, not.
But they do a bloody good job, and they look after their clients in a really great way, and the people that are in there are doing the right things. So, I think they are kind of like probably an example of, especially when it comes to attracting new talent, younger people, an ecosystem where they can.
They're making it happen.
Yeah, they're making it happen. Exactly that. And you don't ever tend to hear the opposite way around, where they're slagging everybody else off.
It was also like when I used to work for De Vere and everyone used to slag them off. I mean, most people in the international financial space would not have a job had it not been for Lindsay or one of the other recruiters at De Vere reaching out to them and getting them in and training them up and pushing them forward and then getting to where they are. Sit there and slag them off now, and it annoys me. And then people often say, well, there's Nigel owns Hoxton. Categorically stated, does not. Yeah. But he gave me an opportunity. He put that opportunity in front of me. He's changed my life, my family's life. Like, why would I not be thankful for that? You've got to be a real knob to be resentful of that. Now, you might not have liked things that happen along the way. They have a gun to your head the whole way saying, you've got to work here. I'm going to flipping turn you upside down and hang you outside of a window. Like, he was like, go. You're not going to make it. Go. Right, great. I'll prove you wrong. Like, I think people get really held up on, I'm a big believer if you don't have to do something, no one's got a gun to your head. No one can make you do something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You were complicit in a lot of this. And actually that extreme ownership is what a lot of people miss.
What do you think about the whole concept? So young people come into financial planning, and there's this idea that it's going to take you a long time to actually sit down with a client and actually start earning money.
So it should.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us a little bit about that and your viewpoints on that, maybe based on your personal experience. So
3 to 5 years, I'd say, is realistic. Like, do not expect to be coming down and sitting in front of clients today, because the advice you are going to give is going to be absolutely crap and can damage someone's life. Let's have it right, yeah? Actually, what you need to be doing is focusing on getting people in front of other clients initially. Get that off, learn from that process, understand the products, and really learn your trade, and you'll be much, much better for it. You will have a much better career than if you come out now and try and make it work. You will not be given good advice. It will take, it's massive uphill struggle. Don't rush it. Good things take time. It's repetition, 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 repetition. Don't be of a company that holds you back though. I do see some that go, well, you're a good power planner. That's your box. That's where you're staying in. Like if you do want to become a financial planner, you need to align yourself with a business that's going to progress you over time. But be under no illusions that we're going to let you in front of clients giving advice within your first 3 years. It's just not going to happen. And even then, when you do come to get advice, we're going to pre-sale check everything that goes out, and we're going to post-sale check everything that comes in. Like it will be heavily scrutinised to make sure that it's right for the client, because we don't want to see clients get torched. But we're not going to hold you back. We're going to push you. We're going to want you to do good things. When you're an accountant, you can't go and you don't become chartered for 3 to 5 years, depending upon how you enter. When you're a lawyer, can't go out and be giving actual, legal advice as a solicitor, as a lawyer for 3-5 years. As a doctor, can't go and practice on patients and start operating on them unsupervised for a long period of time. You have to learn your craft and you have to get good at it. And that's no different to what we're doing. Like, make no mistake, fucking up people's finances can have a really bad impact on their life. Yeah. So we take that very seriously.
It's interesting as well, though, when you think about you're a younger financial planner, right? You're a younger business owner within financial planning.
I'm 38 years old. I'm not young, am I?
In comparison.
I mean, there's dinosaur stuff, though, huh?
But if you look at the UK, right, the average age of a financial planner is 56 years old. It's funny, I used to say to people, I did a talk at a university once, about 200 students that were really, really interested in financial services. I said, close your eyes and picture a financial planner. And he was like, everyone was just like white, middle-aged, glasses, suit. And they have this vision in their head of what an actual financial planner is. And it's kind of, do you know what? The average age in the UK is 56 years old for a financial planner. There's like 30,000 financial planners there.
Yeah.
We're going to see 15,000 of those exit in the next 5 to 10 years. So there is this huge opportunity, right, for younger people to come in. But I do think that a younger person coming in needs to see somebody that's just maybe like 10, 20 years ahead of them and they've been a huge success. So I think we get back to the kind of subject around attracting talent, right? I think attracting talent needs to be, especially now, people need to see people, need to hear their stories, how they got there, the hard parts, the journey. That's a massive part of, I think, attracting not only just young people, because I don't think actually solving, say, the advice gap in financial planning is all about young people. I think create opportunities for young people within financial planning, educate them about the career pathway, and hopefully have something which is a value add to the business and to the person coming in. So everybody wins in that situation. And you yourself, I think, which is why I was quite drawn to Hoxton Wealth, was the fact that you have created that solution through the business development model that then leads into the pathway program, which can
literally call it all the pathway now. Though.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like you start, as a business developer, and you can actually exit the business,
trainee financial advisor, senior financial planner. Exit the business with a big lump of cash in your pocket.
Exactly. So people want to hear that journey. They want to see that journey. They want to hear and see the people that have been on it, but they also want to be relatable. They want to relate to that person, right? So it is about getting as many people as you can talking about what they're doing in their job and their career, and showing the world what they're doing. So it's like why I created the Financial Planner Life podcast in the first place. Was an overarching mission of mine with the Financial Planner Life podcast was, could I reduce the advice gap? And could I do that through creating a podcast that has career stories about financial planning, so it becomes a talent attraction tool for the profession? 250 episodes later, people consider it the go-to place for careers within financial planning, because guess what? I have everybody on there, all different walks of life. I've got some young person who's just started. I've got somebody who's exiting the profession. We've got women on there. We've got people from different backgrounds, minorities, everything. Making sure that we've got diversity in this collection of stories that attracts everybody. It does feel like a bit of an old boys club, though, financial services. I think that's possibly changing a little bit. What do you think?
It is, yeah. I think it is changing. I think I don't feel like, I don't go to places and go, God, everyone in here is ancient now. I'm definitely starting to see newer, fresher faces. I do feel like I am a young business owner. And But I am starting to see other people, younger people run businesses. The guys we were talking about before, AHR got acquired by Titan. They were all relatively young. Outside of them internationally, there's not, there's W1, there was SJB, who I think do a good job as well. There's plenty of planning firms now start to list them off that are doing good things. But yeah, historically it has been a bit old stuffy, a bit oldie woldy, a bit, this is the way we do things. It doesn't have to be like that. It's financial planning can be whatever we like, whatever we want it to be. It can be fans, black t-shirt, black jeans. It can be white shirt, pair of trousers. It can be tie, three-piece suit, pocket square. Be whatever you want it to be, whoever it resonates with you. And I think we see that in the US, and it's starting to seep across the pond to the UK, and now we're starting to see it more internationally as well. When I first become an advisor, you had to wear a tie. Like you could not wear a tie. Now I look at people strangely if they're wearing a tie, just because I feel that is a bit old and stuffy, and that's not how I would run it. But I just feel that's just society in general, and financial planning is catching up. It is in general the profession playing catch up on a lot of things though. Like financial planning is behind in technology, financial planning is behind in maybe dress, financial planning and is a bit behind in EDI. All of these things that other places are further ahead. But that takes time. And as a profession, we need to work together to get it there. And we need to do stuff collectively to move it forward. Financial Plan Life's been a huge success. Trap has been, has been a good success. We're starting to see people come through with different ideas. Pete Matthews, the other guy that we were talking about the other day on YouTube, who was his name?
James Shack.
Great success.
Really well.
We're starting to see stuff like that really come through and be interesting now as well. And we need more people like that doing stuff. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And also, that's not James Shack. Oh God, he's nailed it. Is it 8 billion people in the world? It's a lot of people for you to go at.
Yeah.
There can be multiple James Shacks, unfortunately for James, there can be multiple people that do it, but you need to have your own unique spin on it, and you need to want to do it in your own way.
I think that's it as well. There's a huge amount of opportunity within financial planning. You aren't scratching around in the dirt to try and find clients. There is an abundance of clients out there.
Abundance.
There's so many people that need financial advice. There's a whole advice gap. There are so many little niches that you can step into. So again, it's like a young person coming into it. It's like, well, what are you passionate about? What are your interests? If you're super interested in gaming, guess what? Become the financial planner to the gaming community.
Amazing.
Set up your Twitch. Start to be where your clients are. If you're really into gaming and you really love gaming, get into the e-gamers events, but be there from a financial advice perspective and be the financial planner to the e-gamers.
Handing over their $1 million check and you're going,
nice
come and invest.
Well, it's the same as footballers, right? Footballers,
YouTube,
all that stuff. There's so many unique niches and ways that you can, again, become a key person of influence within that space around something you actually enjoy as well.
100%. And that's the key. You've got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying it, you're not ever going to do well at it.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that to my kids the other day, actually. It's so important that, my son Jack was saying, after we talked for ages about him becoming a football agent, I'm not sure what I want to do. And I was like, do you not become a football agent? He's like, oh, and I was like, well, look, number one, you're very young. But number two, whatever you do, you need to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes there would be parts of the job that you don't enjoy. It's natural for everyone to kind of enjoy everything that you do. But actually, if you have a passion for it and you enjoy what you do, you'll do really well at it.
People are always looking for mentors and they're looking for trainers and all of that kind of stuff. What's your view on that? What part does mentorship play in a career of, say, a financial planner, especially if they're in the early stages?
Really important. If you're surrounded by good people, you'll be, good things will happen to you. But also mentorship doesn't mean that they're gonna deliver for you. You've got to listen. I see a lot of times people come in as well and they just have no interest in listening to what others say. We've set out the Pathway program. The reason why the Pathway program has been structured how it has been is because we know that works. That's going to take someone from there to there. Now, we now give that to people before they've even joined so they can see what's actually involved and what's actually expected of them. So that when they come in, there is no, oh my God, I didn't realise it was that.
Yeah.
So, I think number one, having a mentor is important, but number two, you need to make sure that you're actually listening to the mentor. Number three, it's great listening, but you need to action and implement it. And you do those things, and having a mentor is great. If you're just got a mentor, it's not going to help you. Like you actually need to be taking their advice and pushing it forward. The easiest way to do something is not to go and recreate the wheel. Financial planning isn't putting someone on the moon for the first time. It's been done over and over and over and over again in different iterations, in different ways of doing it, and you'll find a style that works well for you. You might be super investment focused and just want to talk to people about the underlying investments. Great. Go more down the investment management role. You might be really focused. You don't like the investments, but you want to be really focused on helping people achieve their goals. It's more of a coaching, more of a financial planning or lifestyle planning approach. You might actually hate speaking to clients, but you actually might do like the technical work that goes behind it. That's more power planning. Like you'll find the bits that you enjoy, but you need to be exposed to them all to start off with to know actually what you truly like. And I feel that working with mentors, different mentors along the way can help you. So you have different teachers for English, different teachers for maths. Like you didn't just get an English teacher and that was it.
Yeah.
Like you have to have different people helping you that are experts in those fields. And actually what normally happens is the bits that you enjoy and you're passionate about, you strap that with someone who is also really passionate about that and is a great teacher. You develop a love for that. Like how many people come out, I used to really like maths at school. And if I look back on it, it was because I was good at it. So I had a passion for it. But number two is because of the teachers I had. I used to have this guy called Mr. Riley that used to teach me. And he helped my love of maths. Like, had I had another teacher who was a bit hard work, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. Send me your mentors. Like, you will be drawn to people in different ways.
So look, getting young people into the professions, one is tricky. What we need to do is to make the profession more interesting, more engaging. We need more people actually influencing people to come in. So things like podcasts, this sort of thing. Collaboration, talking about the benefits to the person who's coming in, what the career looks like, what the career framework looks like. But it's also kind of like helping companies as well. I assume like my from my perspective as well is helping companies who actually want to employ young people create a model that actually will make it profitable for them as well, and also make it sticky. So let's just end it on this then. Let's just talk about what you've done around your pathway programs. If anyone's listening right now, someone might want to implement it in their own business, but it also gives anybody listening, really, a young person or whatever, an insight into really why our pathway is good for the business and ultimately good for the individual. And I suppose when it's good for the business, it's sticky.
Yeah.
Is that person going to come into Hoxton? Are they going to stay with us?
Yeah.
Are we going to get a return on investment at every stage? But what's in it for that person if they went through the whole journey of the pathway?
Yeah, look, I think coming at it from a business point of view, I think anyone listening to this that wants to implement it, I would really encourage you to do it. I think even if it was one or two people that you could bring through every other year, like that's going to make a big difference overall. If you think how many tens of, or if not hundreds of thousands of financial planning businesses there are globally, like if everyone brought in one or two people, that massively boosts it up. But if you have a look at it, the first thing that we do is we do prospecting in year one. So that's just going to help you get busier. It's going to help get you meetings, helping to get you appointments. You can see if this person's really interested in that or not. Number two, and then you know that actually they're probably going to be able to go on and win new business for your firm later on, which is fantastic. Number two is then getting them tuned into the advice process. So they will understand the advice process from, really onboarding upwards of actually giving suitable advice. And then number three is starting to expose them to a few clients, helping out with reviews, starting to sit on it. So that's year three. Then we go to year four, which is where they've done all their exams along the way, as part of this process. And we've, there's various training academies or whatever that you can put them through to help with the exams and bits and pieces like that. But we take that as a bit of a given, and that's done in the first 3 years. So number four, they can actually now go out and start winning clients. You'll have to check their work and you'll have to see what they're doing. But from year four onwards, they should really start to bring in new revenue to the business and not just be supporting you on doing more. Year five, they become even more proficient at it. Guess what? The recurring income they starts ramping up. They're going out, they're getting better clients. They're speaking to high caliber high caliber people that they can give good advice to. And then it keeps growing every year, unless they're really rubbish and they don't want to grow and they want to go backwards. Then obviously won't be of interest to you or your company because they haven't got that growth mindset. But they will keep growing and they will keep developing and they will keep adding. They might turn around after a few years and say, this isn't for me, and you have a chat with them at that point. But at the first year, they brought in a lot. On those first 3 years, they've helped you bring in even more clients.
Yeah.
And that's the trick behind it. From a junior's point of view, I would say first year, if you could get anywhere between 30 grand to 40 grand, I'd say that's a decent salary for you. I'd say next year, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. So you don't try and go up in 10 grand increments, like to keep it super basic and super simple. I think that is more than achievable. But realising that at 25, you're not going to be on £1 million a year. Yeah. And actually you'll get past this first bit and then it becomes like a hockey stick. Your earnings will dramatically increase as long as you invest in your business. And like I said, to the point is that you can earn 7 figures a year as a financial planner. It will not just be you. You will have had to build a team around you. But there are plenty of practices that we speak to that are doing that.
So just kind of on that point then, the hockey stick side of it, okay? So you're coming in trainee, you're going through that early stage of the pathway, you're in some good money, you then step into financial planning, you're going out, you're winning clients. We call it an entrepreneurial environment, okay? And I want to just make it clear to people, like when they come into Hoxton Wealth, how can they create that hockey stick style of wealth going up without the temptation of going off and setting up your own business?
Well, I think internationally setting up your own business is really tough because if you've got clients across multiple jurisdictions, you've got to go and get licensed and regulated across it, and that's not cheap, as we know. But I think that ultimately it's coming in and focusing on the bits that you want. Very few people actually want to be a business owner. Let's get that right. Being a business owner and a good financial planner are two separate things. Just because you're a good financial planner doesn't make you a great business owner. Being a great business owner means you need to be able to manage cash, you need to manage HR, you need to be good at recruiting. That aren't skill sets of a good financial planner necessarily. So you've really got to want to do it. What we do and what enables you to do is focus on the bit that you actually like, which is financial planning, pay you very well for doing that. And ultimately you can focus more on what is actually driving revenue to you. And, they're the bits that I would focus on.
And also as well, I suppose, if someone gets their head turned by running their own business, it's more to do with the fact that they are looking to receive some cash event in the future, maybe from selling a business. What do we do to help those individuals?
We help them get a payout towards the end so they can capitalise the income that they have, that they've developed over their period. So, we operate on splits. We will buy that income that they're generating from the clients, from Hoxton's clients, back off of them to, say, well done, good job. Thank you very much for your time. We want to appreciate you. It's not just you just hand this back. Like, you want to go and do something else, you want to go and spend more time with your family, great, which is what we would do when we buy another business outside of the Hoxton ecosphere, or the ecosystem, which is, I think, is pretty unique internationally as well.
Perfect. Well, Chris, look, brilliant to catch up with you and talk about all the things we can do to attract new people into the profession. I think there's so many things we can do as a profession, individually, and also it has to work for both sides, doesn't it? Young people have to come in and feel like that it's a rewarding career, but the business taking them on has to make sure it's profitable. And I think,
definitely,
we've looked at both sides of the stories here, and two sides need to work together to make that happen. So great stuff.
Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Good man.